Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Whoever's watching this show, thank you guys very much. I'm just going on Facebook and Instagram Live. Bart Baggett, how are you? Welcome to the show. We're talking fantasy football. And it's time. It's Thursday. Tonight's the first game. And finally, here in week 4, COVID has struck. The virus, what we've all feared. To be honest, during these first 3 weeks, there were no positives, and this was something that we had talked about. This is something that had come up quite a bit in these conversations with the guys in my league. They're like, a lot of them were like, they're bullshitting these tests because there's no way that there's no new positives. Hey, I miss you too, and hopefully I'll be back in Vegas performing again real soon. As soon as we get all this mess sorted out, and it looks like Vegas is going to be starting to have shows very soon, so who knows? It's all out there. Again, the theme of today's episode, thank you, COVID. And COVID, of course, has destroyed this year, and, of course, the performances and all the fun times that I've had on the road. But it looked like the NFL had managed to kind of slip through the fingers of the COVID. It seemed as if they'd learned their lessons from watching other sports like baseball and MLS, where whole teams ended up getting sent home. The Dallas team in the MLS's case. So it seemed as though they had kind of figured it out. And then it happened. And I think we all were like, no, okay. And maybe even for them, having gone through 3 weeks without any cases, maybe they were like, and I feel like people feel this way in general right now, like, all done, come on guys, back to regular life, and it's not all done, it's still there. Now granted, this seems to be at kind of a lower point in the wave, but I think it's only because it's more in middle America and less on, and maybe deaths are down, and so, but the cases are still happening. Tammer, how are you? Man, okay, so Tammer's doing the league, but he's overseas, so obviously he's not seeing everything the way we see it. And Tammer, now first, last week, he dropped the Ravens defense. And everyone was like, the fuck is Tammer doing? But I was like, look, they were against Kansas City. It may have been, I was like, he knows what he's doing. This is what he wants to do. And so I let someone else, I didn't have the waiver wire priority to get him, so I didn't get him. Yo, Robert Torres, what's up? Corey Danis, what's going on? Welcome to the show. So wasn't able to, someone else got him. I was like, okay, Tammer, that was kind of a weird move, but okay. And then this week, he dropped Michael Thomas. And immediately, our text feed starts blowing up with everyone going, okay, you can't, that guy should be on the undroppable list, which some leagues have. I guess mine doesn't. I don't know. I love it. Tammer's now, oh, wait, the defense thing was a mistake. I did it by accident. Also, I suck at fantasy. Yeah, but you're auto-drafted a good team. The auto-draft teams are at the top, and then you went and dismantled it for some reason. You messed with it, but that's part of the fun. That's part of the fun. You play whatever you believe in. That's what got me last week, was I played the team that I really believed in our league, which included Gardner Minshew. Can I just tell you, as a fellow mustachioed person, fellow mustachioed American, I was very disappointed to not be able to celebrate a mustache victory with Mr. Minshew. But he failed. He failed. And what are you going to do? So, this week, you know what, though? I got to roll the dice again. Because, again, I have Tom Brady as the quarterback in that fucking league. And he's got no Chris Godwin. He's got that Scotty Miller guy is now injured. He may not even play. So he's probably going to have to start throwing into Gronk. I think we're going to see enough. But ultimately, this bodes like one of those 9 to 16 point games for Tom Brady, and there's nothing, and so I'm rolling the dice on Nick Foles, because Nick Foles and I don't feel, now Gardner Minshew, Ryan Fitzpatrick, these guys I feel are real dice rolls. I don't trust these guys as far as I can throw them. But you're looking at the matchup, and it looks juicy, so okay. But Nick Foles is a Super Bowl winning quarterback who got paid a ton of money to do nothing down in Jacksonville, and finally is getting his chance to really step on that stage once again. Because if you remember the season that was supposed to happen, he got injured in like game 2. So we never got to see what that real Nick Foles offense would have been. Then he got better, and at that point, they were already in love with the stash. And listen, who can blame him? Am I right? So, anyway, so this week I'm rolling the dice on Nick Foles. But tonight, let's focus on the first game. Oh, so COVID has struck, and I know we all saw it. And, oh, God, I've started so many tangents and not finished any of them. So Tammer dropped Michael Thomas on, thinking he was putting them on IR, and in fact, he dropped them. So it was like, he can't fucking, because everyone knew whoever got him, that was going to be a huge unnecessary advantage. It wasn't a trade, it was a drop. So I had to go in there and be the manager, had to put on my manager hat. Put on the manager hat. We're like, I can't let that happen in my league. I ain't going to let it get distorted like that. And I went in there and I had to put Michael Thomas back on. And that's the other thing. He picked up the New York Giants defense. What are you doing? Do you even know how the game is played? Oh, my God. Stop it with that. But yeah, so I had to put it back. That's one of those. And you know what? When you're the commissioner, you got to make calls like that. Every season, there's a situation where you got to make some kind of a call about what's allowable and what's not allowable. And that was just one of those ones that, now don't get me wrong. If I had the highest waiver priority, I absolutely would have been like, sorry guys, listen, he dropped him, he's got to live with that. Let's just put in let's just check our, let's just put in that waiver claim real quick. That would have been me. If I had first, even if I had first waiver pick, I probably would have done the right thing. I probably would have been like, you know what, guys, I can't, in good conscience, allow this to happen. But I don't know. I've made to be honest, I've done some shady shit. I'm not going to lie to you. And I think we all have at some point. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I cannot say with absolute certainty that I would have done the right thing. So, how are you? Pam Ty, welcome to the show. We're just talking a little fantasy football. If you have lineup questions going into this week, be sure and just type them right into the phone, and I will see them and respond with the best of my abilities. And it's like anything else. It's like anything else in life. Looking at someone else's situation, you know exactly what they should do. But your own, it's impossible to decipher what you're supposed to do, and you go back and forth and this and that. It's that way with everything. Like with your friends' relationships. It's always so obvious when it's over, when they need to try harder. It's always right there. But with yours, it's like, it's complicated. So, all right, let's keep it going. So, back to whatever I was talking about. Let's go through the games. Broncos, Jets. To me, the real play here is, obviously you're going to play Melvin Gordon because he's going to have the touches. The Jets' defense kind of sucks. And the thing about it is this. Here's the X factor in my mind. Scott Hoffner with a question here. He says, are you coming to Dallas for Thanksgiving? No, but I am planning to come to Dallas for Christmas. So hopefully we'll get a chance to do a show and hang out then. And you have a patio. It's open air. I'd be happy to do a show over Christmas. Cook or Ingram at tight end? Corey, very good question. And unfortunately, you have to go with Evan Ingram because Cook, even if he plays, he's got that groin injury. He's got a groin strain. Even if he plays, he's going to be hobbled. He's going to be slow. It's going to be very difficult for him to get open. I have Jared Cook as well. And in this instance, I think as a matter of, I think you have to play Evan Ingram, who I believe is healthy, who I think is fine. So I haven't seen anything to the contrary. So if I were you, but again, go with your own gut. But again, the projection is staying the same. The projection hasn't moved for Cook, but he's still again a groin pull slows motherfuckers down. Fucking just like imagine every stride hurts. Okay, everyone hurts, and you want to stop doing it. It's going to be a little difficult. Dave Kerr, Jeff Wilson, or Gaskin? Well, let's look at the matchups. I mean, the Dolphins have a pretty decent matchup against the Seahawks. That Seahawks D really hasn't been stopping it. Well, they've been better against the run than the pass. The pass, they've been getting lit up. The run, they're doing a little bit better against. They did pretty good against Zeke Elliott last week. And then Jeff Wilson, who does seem to be having a very good share of that. He's on the late game. That's right, against the Eagles, who are absolutely eating a dick. I would say Jeff Wilson. I think he's got a better matchup, and he's been getting a good share of that. But actually, let me reel that back in. I'm going to say Gaskin, and I'll tell you why. Because Gaskin's got a decent matchup, too, and Gaskin is the number one, whereas Wilson is definitely the number two. It's right now. It's to me, anyway, it seems that it's McKinnon, then Jeff Wilson. If I'm wrong about that, you may be following it closer because it's your players. If you feel Jeff Wilson is the one, then play Jeff Wilson. But I think he's the two, so I would go with Gaskin because at least you know for sure he's going to be the guy starting the game on the field carrying the ball. Another question coming in here. We have Max Greenberg, Jefferson, Cole, or Valdez-Scantling. Not Valdez-Scantling, because it looks like Devontae Adams may be back. Now, and again, also with Cole, DJ Chark may be back. And if Chark is back, that really helps Keelan Cole because, as we learned last week, Gardner Minshew only likes to throw against number two coverage. And then there's Jefferson. Now, here's the thing about Jefferson. Like the cat's out of the bag. Like the defense knows they're going to have to try against Jefferson now. They're not going to play him loosely. They're not going to just let him run wild and focus entirely on Thielen. If anything, I think Thielen has a great game this week because they're going to have to swing some coverage, some better coverage over to Jefferson and keep a better eye on him. And I would also say this, how often have you seen a rookie breakout wide receiver have a game like that and then follow it up with another big game? It usually kind of floats back down to earth. That doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. He may have another monster game. I feel like that happened specifically because I tweeted that because Kirk Cousins had like a negative 1.6 total points in week 2. And I tweeted, quit football. And I guess, the universe hears, everybody's always listening, and the universe loves to make me eat my words. The universe, anything I say, the universe is like, great, do the opposite. always, just here's the whole thing there, universe. That's tight. Okay. That being said, let's see who's Minnesota up against. Who do we have? Where are the Vikings? Where are you, lad? Oh, Vikings at the Texans. There we go. You're the early game. Texans have been like a sieve kind of on defense. Although I think Jacksonville has a good matchup as well, though. Jacksonville's against the Bengals. Ooh, that is going to be delightful. They're going to be slinging the ball. I got to be honest with you. For me, you're probably going to go with Jefferson. Totally understand that. Completely understand that. But I would say at the end of the week, we might see that Keelan Cole is the guy to that. But I totally understand you going with Jefferson. I would probably, it seems hard not to go with Jefferson after the week he just had. I understand that. And really that's the smart thing to do. But if I'm reading the stones, I bet Keelan Cole has a pretty good week because DJ Chark is supposed to be back. In that matchup, they're going to be slinging the ball, so Jacksonville's going to be slinging the ball. So, although I expect Robinson to have a great day in that game too. Let's see, what else? All right, thanks, Scott Offner. Love the show. I'll definitely talk to you. We'll get that set up. Brian Bentley, welcome to it, man. How's your lineups? And this thing, COVID now has finally struck. They knocked out the Tennessee-Pittsburgh game. And, I think we all are kind of like, yeah, I buy it. I saw that coming. But it does, like for me, I already have Christian McCaffrey on IR. And now I don't get to have Derrick Henry either. And so it fucking sucks, But on the upside, the guy I'm playing that I'm not going to use Henry, I had traded him Juju Smith-Schuster for Kenyon Drake. And he can't play Juju Smith-Schuster, but I can still play Kenyon Drake, who I think this is I keep saying it. It's got to be one of these weeks. He's going to, look, Derrick Henry took till game 3 to really get going, and then once they, you know what it's like, guys? You know what it's like? Eric Seifert, what's up, man? What's going on? Oh, yeah, Bentley, you're a Henry owner too. Exactly. So, luckily I built a lot of depth at running back on that team. I have Devontae Freeman. I have James Robinson. I have Kenyon Drake. I have, who else? I have another guy too. Another running back on that team. Let's take a look. Who was it? Kenyon Drake, James Robinson, and then Devontae Freeman. And who else? Oh, I guess Devontae Freeman's the other one available because Henry's not available. And then I also have Christian McCaffrey and Le'Veon Bell who are on IR. So luckily I've got some backup there, but I'm going to have to play CeeDee Lamb, which there are worse things in the world than playing CeeDee Lamb. Eric C for $3. Listen, your team seems stacked, Eric. Ride it out, man. But the problem with a team stacked at the beginning of the season is they don't pick up a lot of the newer guys off the waiver wire, and consequently down the stretch when their guys start getting hurt and start falling apart, they don't have the bench back up to fill in for them, and they usually wind up stumbling down the stretch. So be careful, be sure and get on that waiver wire and try and stay on top of your bench. You grab James Robinson, he was still on waiver wires, and you have Montgomery and Gordon. So that looks very good. Montgomery is getting better now that Nick Foles is in the game. Nick Foles was passing him the ball. He's getting more PPR points than ever before. Corey Davis, Peterson, Murray, or Brown. So you have Malcolm Brown, I guess that is, and Adrian Peterson and Latavius Murray. The problem with Latavius Murray, after week 1, that's when I got him too. So good pickup there. James Robinson, he's one of the few pickups that's worked out for me. And the other one was I had Justin Jefferson, but eventually it was like I had him and Ruggs, and I felt like Ruggs was already more involved, and that we already talked about this. So of course it was, when you let a guy go and then he blows up, it's just like breaking up with a girl and then she turns hot. And you're like, when did you do this? When did you start going to the gym and get the breast implants and everything? Not that that's a tape, you know what I mean. But now you got to watch her with some better looking dude, and you're like, shoot, I used to date her. But in terms of Peterson, Murray, and Brown, I would just go with Peterson because he has the most opportunity to actually carry the ball. So that one seems pretty easy. With Latavius, you just don't know how much usage. Same with Malcolm Brown because it seems to be the Darrell Henderson show there in LA. You have Matt Ryan at QB this week. Yikes, good thing they be playing catch-up all day. And that's most of Matt Ryan's points have come from, he's been building up leads and then losing the lead and failing to be able to repeat that once they're down. That's the weird thing about Matt Ryan. That's why I hate Matt Ryan. That's why I never choose Matt Ryan. Actually, there was one year that I had him and Andrew Luck, and I alternated them according to matchup, and I won the season that year. So I can't be that mad at Matt Ryan, but then I had him again the next year, and he sucked. He's had like 3 sucky seasons since then, and now all of a sudden he's back. But he builds these great opening leads and then falls apart at the end. Why can't he just keep doing what he was doing in the first half? What the fuck is happening there? All right. Gerard Cole, welcome to the show. John Mesh, the Messy Juice is here. A lot going on. All right, so anyways, we're still in game 1. I got to move this along. But I love answering questions. If you guys have any other questions, be sure and punch them in there, and I will answer them again to the best of my abilities. Broncos and the Jets. So I told you who to like there. Really, the defenses are who I like there. And what's his name is supposed to be back for the Jets, but I don't know. I mean, if they don't try to protect him a little bit. And here's the thing about the Jets. Everybody knows that they're getting ready to fire their coach. If they lose this game, Gase is gone. And what's really going to be interesting to watch is to see if the players fight to save his job or if they tank to get rid of him. And I personally think they're going to tank to get rid of him so you get someone in there that really knows how to use Le'Veon Bell, who I think the entire locker room is going, listen, that's our best weapon, not Sam fucking Darnold. Adam Gase is such a moron. But that's what I think happens tonight. So that's why I think the Broncos defense actually does better than the Jets defense, because I think the Broncos, I think the Jets are maybe I'm wrong. They either play for his life or they lay down so they can get rid of him, and it'll be interesting to see which way that goes. I'm betting on, because I'm playing the Broncos defense, and I had originally picked up the Jets defense because they're against a third-string quarterback. But last time I did that, I got burned, baby, by Nick fucking Mullins. I picked up the Raiders defense, and they made Nick Mullins look like a goddamn all-star. So, don't be surprised if Sipian, or whatever his name is, comes out and Rippin, Mark Rippin's nephew, comes out and rips it. You know, it's possible. You tried to grab Lazard, but too high on the waivers. That's what happens. And can I tell you, in my league, I changed the waiver system from lowest team automatically gets priority. Because I hated that people that drafted poorly were rewarded with all the breakout stars. So in ours, regardless of your position, whenever you use a waiver, you go right to the end of the line. So consequently, a lot of the times, the guys with really good teams who don't use the waiver wire very much, when somebody does come up, they're able to grab that guy because they're at the top of the waiver wire priority because they didn't use them. So that's part of the advantage to me, that's a fairer process. And in my other league, which Tyler Peel is on, Rick Ronk, we have a FOB system, the free agency acquisition buck system, and that you place bids. It's an auction style, and boy, I love that, boy. But some of these fools, you get $200 for the whole year, and one guy spent $90 on Leonard Fournette. So mistakes are made. I spent $12 on fucking Raquel, whatever, Armstead. What a joke that was. Stupid, dumb, fucking the depth chart. Latavius Murray or James White. James White in an emotional comeback game. I think he has an amazing game. Latavius Murray, again, we're not sure how much he's going to get used, but I think James White, they're gonna put him out there and let him play as much as he wants. I think he's gonna have one of those magical games where he's connected to the energy of the other side. And I think he probably has a monstrous game. Tim Bateman playing the Broncos D in one league. Hope you're right. Listen, I do too, man. I need it. I need production. I got to find it because I'm not getting it from the quarterback position. So it's killing me. Shruthi, how are you? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Jefferson, Minnesota, right, got it. Or Howard. Oh, dude, not Howard. Come on. You shouldn't even have Howard still. I mean, goal line stuff, but, I mean, he's not fantasy relevant, really. Jefferson, for sure. That one's easy breezy. Rob Heskin, would you start James White over Watkins? 1,000%. I mean, Watkins, we've seen, he's hot and cold. He's mostly cold. He did exactly one great game at the beginning of the season. What a jerk-off, because I played him the next week. Just hoping he could buck the trend. Hoping he had heard the noise. And that the Chiefs had heard the... Nah, fuck it. He's fucking... But, again, I believe James White is going to have an absolute... I think he's going to have an emotional game, and I think it's going to be quite a game. Now that I think about that, I may put Cam Newton back in. I'm playing Drew Brees right now against Detroit, and he's getting Michael Thomas back. So that is specifically why I'm playing Drew Brees. But now that I think about it, with James White coming in with that kind of emotion, they're playing the Chiefs. Chiefs are going to score. They're going to try and come up. I think it's a lot of passes to James White. I may have to put Cammy back in. What do you guys think? Cam Newton or Drew Brees? All right. Every year Watkins pulls that shit. That's exactly right. Yes, you're 100% right. He pulls it every. Is T.Y. going to keep eating all the dicks? Yes. T.Y. is going, I don't know, the connection's not there. Hello, did I get it? Is anyone there? No one is home. The call is not going through. It's a waste of fucking time. I don't know what I mean. Cam. Brian Bentley thinks Cam over Drew Brees. I may be leaning towards putting Cam back in with this James White business. The emotion's going to be there. He's a short pass catcher. And then he takes, I don't know, I may have just talked myself back into Cam Newton. Keenan Allen or Odell in wide receiver 2. For me, it's Keenan Allen. Odell, even though he has a decent matchup against my sweet Dallas Cowboys, And he's kind of back. I mean, he's getting him the ball. I think Herbert is looking for Keenan Allen. You play him till one of them gets injured. That's my opinion. And so for me, again, go with your gut. You make it your choice. But I think I would go with Keenan Allen because I think Herbert's really focused on him. Now, the Chargers are up against the Buccaneers, they're a pretty hot defense. But again, Herbert's looking. I like Keenan Allen, but go with your gut. And Keel Harry breaks out. It's possible. He's kind of been scratching at it, hasn't he? He's kind of hello, I'm ready, hello. And last week they say, Cam started again. And listen, this week they're going to have to throw it to keep up. But It could be this week, but we'll see. Maybe it's never. For me, he's one of those guys that maybe it's never. Would you buy Stafford against New Orleans? History says he does well. Well, I would say that anyway, because the New Orleans defense is not nearly as good as we thought they were. We thought they were they got a lot of great names, but they aren't shutting anybody down. So I would say that Stafford probably does pretty well, especially since they're at home. I believe they are in Detroit. So they are. So listen, they're both 1-2. So I think Stafford is going to sling the ball. I mean, especially since their running game is so fucking iffy. I think definitely Stafford should be a pretty decent pick. Ayuk or Will Fuller. This is very interesting. Can I tell you, I had Ayuk because, again, I lost Chris Godwin and Ruggs. Those are my two guys. Both of them are, quote-unquote, doubtful, which means they're not going to play. They're not going to play. And even if they do play, I don't want to play them because they're hopefully, if they're smart, they play to not let them get hurt. So, I had Ayuk in because I liked the usage. They used him a little bit as a wingback and stuff like that. They gave him a lot to do. But Will Fuller, I think, is definitely more of a kind of connected to he's still the wide receiver one. I think they started to make it happen. So I'm afraid I think the safer choice, strangely, is Will Fuller. Yes, Godwin out multiple games. I know. He was out week 2, and I lost, and now he's back. He's back out again. So I don't know what to do. And he was one of those guys that fell to me that I was like, I got you now, motherfucker. Womp womp. All right, should I start Melvin Gordon or Edwards-Helaire? Since Gordon is going up against the Jets, I'm tempted to start him. Woo! That's tough. Man, that is... you know what it is? That's a coin toss, because you're right. The Jets have stunk. And again, I think they're going to try and tank tonight anyway to get rid of their coach. I think they hate their coach. So I understand the temptation. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they're up against the Patriots. And you got to think, who are the Patriots going to try and take away? It's probably going to be Mahomes, which would make it an Edwards-Helaire day. So it's a coin toss. I think both are going to do very, very well. I don't think either answer is wrong, is what I'm saying here. So whichever one you really want to roll. But I will also say this though: Thursday nights are real fucking weird. I got burned. I looked like a slam dunk with Minshew. And fucking just right up the... So, that being the case, temper your expectations and go with your gut. I'd probably say stick with Helaire. Stick with Helaire. To me, that's the safest choice. You had Godwin too, so you're fucked. Okay, Mostert or Todd Gurley. If Mostert plays, Mostert. Absolutely, and I know he's questionable going into this game. If Mostert plays, Mostert's just electric, and Todd Gurley looks like he's running in mud. Holy crap. He looks like he's crushing grapes. That's you're like, That's why I picked up Brian Hill. Go grab Brian Hill off the waiver wire. He's the starter by week 7, I promise you. Crowder over T.Y., yes, because if the one guy is going to produce for the Jets, it's going to be Crowder. So, and it looks like he's back, and T.Y. doesn't seem to have any connection. So I would say, for me, Crowder, but go with your gut. And again, Thursdays are weird, and they might be tanking to get rid of their coach. But so you got to go with whatever you think is the right thing to do. But I would think Crowder is definitely more connected than T.Y., which is just, a phone ringing off the hook. Dude, Edwards-Helaire, I guess is how it's pronounced, how them Cajuns pronounce it. Down there, that Edwards-Helaire, he's impressed the hell out of me. Kid runs the ball with heart. He does, man. He looks great. He's one of those ones that you're like, I wonder how long you can keep that up. Zeke is my only other option, and he's starting. Well, yeah, you got to have Zeke, absolutely. Zeke should have a very good week. You don't think Mostert will play. If Mostert doesn't play, well, that just makes your decision that much easier. Considering how much they won by and the fact that McKinnon and Jeff Wilson are doing well, I would also think that they would keep him out another week just because they don't need to put him in harm's way. Gronk might be able to outrun Gurley. That's a good one, Eric. That one, yeah, he might. That'd be a fun one to watch. It would take a while, but it'd be fun to watch. Hilaire's the real deal. He absolutely is, guys, without question. That guy, woo! I mean, that's the thing. He runs hard, and he takes them hits, but he also catches the ball out of the backfield. I mean, there's a lot to like there, man. He's living up to the hype. And again, one of those guys that if Zeke didn't fall to me, I was grabbing Helaire. And we'll see how it ends up at the end of the season. I still think Zeke's going to wind up top 3. All right. COVID will put Fun Gurley. Yeah, COVID might grab. Who knows? Should I play Lazard against the Falcons? Right now, everything is saying yes. You should. I mean, Lazard was one of those guys that Aaron Rodgers spoke highly of last season, and now he's finally kind of really living up to that expectation. I think I'm kind of with it on Lazard. I think you can play him. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, sometimes these guys have one huge game and then they recede, especially if Devontae Adams comes back. You know how much he looks for Devontae. I mean, just know that that's Lazard became the de facto number 1. I mean, that's why he did so well. And so Devontae comes back. I mean, you're going to have to expect a certain amount of regression, but the connection's there. The connection is there. That's what you're looking for. And I think it's definitely something you can count on out of Lazard going forward. Wait a minute. Whoa. Lazard has a core injury and is seeing a specialist. When did this come out? Is this brand new? Is this like breaking news? Okay, guys, if you have Lazard, you're going to have to go check him out because core injuries is what ruined OBJ's season last year. So every week, it's just a matter of how long you get to keep him. Every fucking week. McLaurin versus the Ravens. You're good. Listen, you got to stay away from everybody on the fucking on the racist kittens, because the Ravens are looking for revenge. They're upset. Okay, so an hour ago, and OBJ is now on the injury report. Listen, the core injury guys are hanging out together. I guess they're going to meet each other at that specialist office. They both walk in there. Oh. Eric Seaver says, Greg, you and I can throw for 300 plus against the Falcons. Maybe one of us. I would not play McLaurin. Stay away from everybody on the Washington side of the ball. The Ravens defense is going to feast, and they're going to feast hard, and it's going to be at the expense of the Washington Redskins. They are the absolute punching bag this week. It's going to be pretty bad. Let's see. Who would you drop? T.Y. Would you drop T.Y. for Crowder? Don't want to drop it, then he finally connects. And that's exactly what's going to happen. If that's because that's the way the universe is. The universe is like, oh, did you drop him? There you go, 40-point game. If you don't drop him, Crowder will have an enormous game tonight, and T.Y. will continue to suck. If you drop him, Crowder will go out injured in the second quarter, and T.Y. will blow up. So just know that those are your choices, and good luck with that. As long as we don't have to scramble, we'd be good unless it's X. Good stuff. Okay, Eric, I think I'm going to give you the light. I got to give you the light, buddy. That last one, that wasn't your best. McLaurin is on the injury report today, too. Dude, everybody, well, and here's the other thing, guys. You have to monitor these things because at this point, everyone's kind of going to be on the injury report. So it's a matter of, is it an injury? They're giving him a day of rest because he's banged up. See, that's what it is. Are they banged up and they're going to play, or because everybody's going to be banged up? Or do they have an injury that's going to knock them out for several games? These are the questions, and that's what we all have to monitor. That's why we have the alerts going nonstop. Like, oh my God. This is in the hour that I haven't been paying attention because I had lunch before this. In the hour, like 3 injury reports have popped up of major players that may not be able to play. So this is 2020, baby. Oh my God. Every week's like one of those fucking debates. Just a disaster. All right. What else, guys? Who else you got? All right, let's keep going through the analysis. Yes, Washington play nobody. Ravens play everybody. You can even play DK Dobbins or JK Dobbins in this one because I think they're going to be so far up, they'll put him out on the field from like the middle of the third quarter on. So I feel like even JK Dobbins, especially in daily fantasy, needs somebody cheap, throw him in the flex. JK Dobbins, I think, would be a strong choice there because I think they're just going to beat the fuck out of this team. Charger, which as a Cowboys fan, I'm going to record it. And anytime I feel blue, I'm going to play that game of the Ravens boofing the Washington racist skins for 60 minutes of football. That's what I'm going to do. Now, me having said that, watch them come out and they're all deflated and the fucking Redskins come out, or Washington football team, whatever. That's right, old Dichi, fucking wham! Plain old Dichi. Plain old Shy? Plain old Itchy? I don't remember. Okay. Chargers and Buccaneers. I mean, listen, again, Herbert he's like Joe Burrow. He's slinging the ball. He's fearless. But the Buccaneers defense is a very good defense. They're going to have to rely on the run. And they're good. I mean, they're a good defense. They're hot. I know it doesn't seem like it, but they do. I think they're going to make it very hard on Herbert. But I think Herbert's still going to find a way to get Keenan Allen the ball, at least for a couple of big ones. But Eckler's been running great. So expect Eckler to continue to do that. We expect Josh Kelly to come out and try and redeem himself from that fumble last week. So I kind of expect good things from him. Not enough to play him, and I don't really see him as a DFS play, but expect him to have a couple good runs. On the Broncos side of the ball, again, I think it's going to be running back by committee. I think it's going to be a ton of run game and I do think that Gronk is going to have to get back involved. I picked him up off the waiver wire after dropping him. I got him back along with Jimmy Graham, so I feel retooled in that position. But I'm playing Jimmy Graham because you just don't know with the Gronk. But I think this is the game where the Gronk comes out of hiding and begins to at least attempt to play more like his old self out of pure necessity because they're out of receivers. So do not play Tom Brady, unfortunately. And I would also say don't play Herbert. Not that anybody is. Seahawks and Dolphins. You know what to do. I think the luck runs out. This is the week the luck runs out for old Fitzpatrick. He usually follows up a huge game like that with an absolute turd burger that reminds you why he's been on 19 teams in 3 seasons. Vikings and Texans. Listen, Vikings seem to have found it last week. We'll see if they can keep it going versus an 0-3. I mean, I love it. This is the exact shit show version of the O has got to go because they're both 0-3. Someone has to win. Is Montgomery a safe play now that Cohen is out? Absolutely. And they don't have Cordero Patterson anymore, so you don't have to worry about that shit anymore. Although he's pulling those shenanigans somewhere else now. Where was it? In Pittsburgh or somewhere? Where I forgot. So anyways, Vikings, listen, because the defense has not been playing great, I think, this is going to be a strong offensive game, I think, for both. I mean, their defenses haven't been doing that great, so I think both should do pretty well. I think Dalvin Cook should go fucking bananas. I think Dalvin Cook's going to go crazy. I think Thielen, if anything, Justin Jefferson is going to regress because I think Thielen's going to have no problem getting off on these guys. On the Texans side, I think Deshaun Watson continues to struggle because, or at least not look Deshaun-like, because the receivers just really aren't there. But I do think this is the game that that David Johnson finally really gets going. This is a great opportunity for David Johnson to really get those PPR points too. I like him a lot. Patterson is still in Chicago. Is he still in Chicago? Oh, fuck. So you got to worry about Patterson, but they don't give him the ball that much. I thought he went somewhere else. Fuck Patterson. All that guy does is fuck shit up for fantasy players. He comes out, has a huge game, and then he never sees the field again for 8 more games. Fucking hate Cordero Patterson. And everyone thinks they know how to use him. Nobody knows how to use him. Do you guys like my little thing with all the shit, all the cords? It's just desk shit. What are you going to do? Carson versus Hyde. Well, I mean, that's tough because, Carson's technically injured. Listen, I would play. Hyde is going to be a safer play because even if Carson starts, I don't know how many plays he could take. Those high ankle sprains linger. Look what happened with Saquon Barkley last year. I don't particularly like either of those choices. So, oh man, that's tough. But I guess, if Carson plays, but I don't think Carson's going to play. When Carson does, if he plays, I guess you have to, oh man, that sucks. Ugh, that's awful. They're like, would you like this shit sandwich or this slightly more shit sandwich? Thanks, Zach. You are too, bitch. You beautiful baby. Let's see. So, listen, I guess if Carson starts playing, I don't know. I would stick with Hyde. Even if Carson starts, I just don't know how many plays he can play out there. All right, who else? What else you guys? Okay, let's keep going through the games. Saints versus Lions. It should be a shootout. And I think that Matt Stafford will be able to throw. Everybody else has, so why shouldn't he? It'll be interesting to see if it's Kenny Golladay, who he really... The connection's kind of a loose connection with everybody right now, so I'm not sure. And their running game is all over the place, too. So I wouldn't say start anybody in the running game necessarily, because that's the part that's going to struggle. If they stop anything, it'll be the run game. On the Saints side of the ball, I think Breeze has a very good day, because Michael Thomas will be back, and he's already figured out how to operate him even without him. I think it opens everything up for him, and Alvin Kamara will continue to dominate. So, if anything, maybe this is the week that the Saints defense gets their head out and actually performs according to their abilities. Browns at Cowboys, I think this is an offensive shootout. I think it's going to be good for everybody. Baker Mayfield, listen, he will throw for like 300 yards, but he's also going to throw 1 to 2 interceptions and maybe only 2 touchdowns. OBJ is now on the list, so that could, OBJ is good for Jarvis Landry, and he's got to get Jarvis Landry going. And this happened last season. It took him like 6 games, and then all of a sudden, all Jarvis Landry. So I unfortunately have to play Jarvis Landry, so we'll see if, hopefully, please, Lord, please, sweet Lord. For the Cowboys, my boys, let's go, Zeke. Let's get going, baby. And that's the thing. Come on, Dallas. Feed Zeke. Control the clock. That's how you win. Your defense can't stop shit. And I was excited about this defensive preseason. I'm spilling coffee everywhere. I was excited about this preseason because they put together all those old names. I was calling them the Expendables because there was all these old names nobody wanted anymore that had one last good hit in them. And that's who I was counting on. And so far, it's kind of started to happen, but until we get help for Diggs, the rookie corner, fantastic. The other guy, garbage. So clearly they're going to target whoever is the second guy, but... And what we've seen is that with Gallup and CeeDee Lamb, it's kind of like Amari, you can count on, and then it's either going to be Gallup or CD. Jaguars at the Bengals. James Robinson, Joe Mixon, just stop it. Just stop. Why did they give that? That is a true mark of the Bungles, to pay a guy who disappointed you for 2 seasons and had a disappointing start to the season. And they're like, give that man $50 million. What the fuck is wrong with you? I hate Cincinnati so much. But Joe Burrow is going to sling the ball. You could definitely start Joe Burrow, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins. But A.J. Green, he doesn't give a fuck about A.J. Green. Don't you touch A.J. Green. On the Jaguar side of the ball, I mean, if DJ Chark comes back, that's going to be a great day for Keelan Cole. But otherwise, if he doesn't, then it's going to be a pretty decent day for Conley. What do we got here? Yeah, and don't fumble the fucking ball in the first 2 minutes. Exactly. Hell no. Get the ball to Amari and Gallup. Have them both in different leagues. Of course. A perfect way to look at it. Of course. And that's the thing. It'll be Gallup or it'll be CeeDee Lamb. I think it's going to be CeeDee Lamb again. I think it was one of those things where, the coverage started to shift over to CeeDee. So Gallup came open. And I think we're going to see that. And it's going to be hard for all three to feast. So the CeeDee Gallup thing is going to, it'll be interesting to see at the end of the year who really wound up with the most of this. All right. Cardinals at the Panthers. I like the Cardinals defense in this one. Panthers, listen, I do like Mike Davis in this one. I think, but the rest of them, I think, I don't have a prayer. The Cardinals is a pretty good defense, and obviously, I think, this is the week that Kenyon Drake gets going again. I say that every week, and I'm going to keep saying it until it's fucking true. That's what I'm going to do. Giants at Rams. Play the Rams. Everybody. Play them all. Play Josh Reynolds. They're all going to feast. That's going to be a great day, both for the Rams defense. Good work on that one, Tim Bateman. I was trying to get that defense too, but I got Le'Veon Bell instead. And then, absolutely, that defense is going to have a wonderful day. I wouldn't blame any one of the Giants, including Darius Slayton, anybody. I don't know how they're going to get off the schneid on this one. And Darrell Henderson is clearly taking over that running game. I think he is him and Jared Goff are the safest. And I think Higbee is going to have another, at least one touchdown. I don't think it'll be a 3-touchdown game, but I think he'll probably see like 5 receptions, 76 yards, and a touchdown. Great game for Higbee. And Robert Woods. Again, everybody's going to eat. Cooper Kupp, everybody. If I could just, you might as well print up bibs that say Rams versus Giants 2020, because you're going to remember this is the great day in the in the history of the Rams. Bills and Raiders. Listen, man, this Bills defense has proven not to be quite, again, like New Orleans, they're underperforming. They're not doing what we all thought they were going to do. And consequently, I think it's a pretty good day for the Raiders. Well, Josh Jacobs, I think, has a pretty good day. I think they're going to have to throw the ball, and I think it has to be to Hunter Renfrow. There's almost nobody left. Ruggs is out. That other guy's out. And Brian Edwards. Everybody's out. So I think it's going to end. Darren Waller's injured. If Darren Waller plays, obviously, they'll try and target him, but they may want to try and protect him because, again, he's all banged up. So I think this is a good game for Hunter Renfrow. On the Bills side of the ball, love Cole Beasley, especially in daily fantasy play, and Stephon Diggs. I expect to see some serious action in this one. And Singletary, I know that Zach Moss is coming back, but I really feel like Singletary put a chokehold on the lead back role last week. He looked real good doing it, and I think he's going to hold on to it. Even with Zach's going to get in the game, but you're going to see he's not going to do that great. And I know Hopkins has been out the last 2 days with an ankle, but that's usually what they do. He doesn't need to practice. Practice? We're talking about practice. Hopkins is one of those guys like Juju, all these veterans receivers. They know what they're doing. You just let them rest. He's going to play on Sunday. If he doesn't, Andy Isabella, play him. Let's keep going. Patriots at the Chiefs. We had talked about this earlier. I think, the James White thing is going to figure in very interestingly into this game. I don't think the Patriots win, but they've been finding ways to win. This is a good one. I think Cam Newton, it's tough. After the way the Chiefs defense, but I think it's a mental thing now with the Ravens. I think the Chiefs are the Ravens' daddy. You know what I mean? Like they just can't get out of his head. Cam is a different animal. So I don't know that Cam gets psyched out the same way. And again, with the James White energy, I don't know. You know what? Just play him. Because this should be a high-scoring affair. Eagles at Niners. Don't play anybody on the Eagles. play everybody on the Niners that plays. Play McKinnon, play Jeff Wilson. I like Ayuk. I do like Ayuk, but we'll see how they use him. It's Brian Bentley with the update. Crowder is active tonight, so you play Crowder. We will see. I mean, obviously Denver's going to be focused on shutting him down, so we will see how that all works out. And it's Thursday night is weird. But yes, if you have Crowder, Lindsey is inactive, so that bodes well for Melvin Gordon. But again, it's Thursday nights are weird, man. Don't be surprised. Okay, whatever we think is going to happen, should be Broncos, but whatever we think is going to happen, the opposite of that is going to happen. Which means the Jets are going to have a huge game. And I will once again be eating my shorts. I've eaten a lot of shorts, and it's week 4. Play that Niners defense, though. If you got them, woo, fire them up. Falcons and Packers. Listen, Packers are going to pack them. pack them in. And they're going to be like, quit packing it. Now, that being said, I like Brian Hill in this one. And obviously, he's going to sling the ball. Talk about a shootout. Actually, play everybody except the Falcons defense. And probably the Green Bay defense, because he's going to sling the ball. Brian Hill's going to run the ball. Calvin Ridley is going to catch a couple of huge big ones. If Devontae Parker's back, Devontae Adams rather, if he's back, I mean, look for him to get a big one. Look for now Lazard maybe out, so maybe that Marquez Valdez-Scantling investment finally pays off. And of course, Aaron Jones. I think Aaron Jones is going to come out of this with a big fat number. This is going to be a good game for Aaron Jones. And postponed to Steelers and Titans. So that's it, guys. Man, let's enjoy it. Let's have a lot of fun. Hayden Hurst, sure, play Hayden Hurst. Why not? I mean, because here's the thing: we just don't know which tight ends are going to have a week and which ones aren't. Even the big names who are supposed to be, in the mix every week have not been. They've had down weeks. Kelsey has had some very mediocre weeks. Kittle has been in and out of the lineup. Mark Andrews was a bust, last week. So it's a dart throw with tight ends in this game, since there should be a lot of throwing. Hayden Hurst could have a good game. It's a dart throw with tight ends. There's absolutely, in my opinion, no way to figure out which tight end is going to have a day week to week. Now, having said that, watch Gronk go out and have that fucking day. But I pulled him back. I got him back. And you're saying Cook will have a big week. Are you talking about Dalvin Cook, or are you talking about Jared Cook? That should be interesting, because Jared Cook, I don't think so, but Dalvin Cook, yes, should absolutely have a big week. Okay, guys, that's it. You guys have a great week 4. The game's going to be starting in like an hour and 20 minutes. I'm super excited. I hope you guys are too. Thank you for joining me for the show. Another great show here. Fantasy Football Hush Reality. Follow the podcast on Apple or Google, either one. And follow me at Greg Romero Wilson on the socials. Take care. Like you don't. This is on social media. Fuck you guys. All right. Good night.